Well, welcome to the 5D Academy of Higher Consciousness. I'm Zarathustra, broadcasting live from Tulum, Mexico. So, once again, we're here through the grace of God. The miracle of technology is working, and somehow, in a very magical way, it brings us together. And so, somehow, this excites me and it motivates me. I had a very interesting experience yesterday because I was working actually till 8:30 in the evening. Lots of phone calls, organizing and putting things together about different events in different places in the world, and uh, and then finally, friends were sending me text messages that we're waiting for you at this place, and uh, uh, come on over. And all of a sudden, I heard some thunderstorms, and then my electricity went out, and I lost also water. There was no water and no power. And then uh, I decided I'm going to go anyway. And I get ready and to go down and jump on my motorcycle, and I hear the thunderstorm, and then it started to really rain. And so I just come back to my apartment, and no electricity, no water, and just hanging out here. And it's great in a way. It was like um, a very good reminder of being grateful for having very basic things, uh, like electricity or water, and also being grateful that most of us generally we're having a life that we have access to a lot of uh, basic necessities, whatever that is, that you can go take a subway, uh, or take a bus or drive your car to get somewhere, or turn on the faucet and there's water coming, and you can shower or wash your dishes, um, or turn on the lights, and but there are today people around the world in different places that they don't even have these basic uh, services, or they may have their water may get shut down for 5 hours a day, or electricity may get shut down for a few hours a day, or not even having it, and you're just going to have to um, uh, send somebody to the local well or river or lake and bring water, or you have to have a generator for electricity. There are people around the world who are going through that. So let's just be grateful for a moment for everything we have, and in our not allow our mind to complain about little things we don't have. And of course, I'm just like everyone else on the planet. I like everything to go my way. I want things easy. I don't want to work very hard to get things, you know. And I want the best of everything. But that's not what life is, and that's not how it works. And then when some of your basic needs are taken away from you, or something happens to you physically, and all of a sudden you're having some health issue, then it really makes you wake up and appreciate that when you're healthy, uh, you don't even think about it. We take it for granted. So um, just a reminder of taking a moment of our day and just be grateful for everything we have. and not be focused on what we don't have. And also having compassion that there's millions of people around the world that they don't have the very basic things that you and I enjoy from. And having compassion for them. And being mindful. I'm not saying you have to suffer or be a martyr, but just acknowledging it, basically. So the topic of the day, we're going to be talking about acceptance of what is. My dear sister Hilde once again came with a wonderful topic. So we're going to start with that one and see where it goes. How's that? Anybody has any suggestions, any questions, anything that you want to bring it up to me? Or you can think about it, and later on, if you have any questions, we can get into that. Okay? So, acceptance of what is. What does that mean? Acceptance of what is. Actually, there's a book written by a wonderful awakened being, one of my teachers that is alive and lives in Southern California, named Wayne Lickerman. That Wayne Lickerman, I highly respect and namaste to, and has a book called Acceptance of What Is. And he's a wonderful Advaita Vedanta teacher. So if ever you get a chance, check him out on YouTube and see if you enjoy his talks and you resonate with his teachings. And he's pointing out in the same direction of the inward direction. So anyway, acceptance of what is. Acceptance of what is basically understanding. This is a realization, and this is a level of consciousness that one eventually will arrive to. And that is, again, completely the opposite of the pseudo-spirituality. We are talking about going against the norm. We're speaking about going against the herd. We're talking about 6 billion people are going in this direction, and you're going the opposite direction. So, and that's huge, because that requires bullocks. You understand what I mean by bullocks? It means you have to have balls. You have to be gutsy to go an opposite direction of majority of people on a planet. Not too many people have the guts to do that, are going to go in that direction. And especially right now with the movement which is taking place around the globe in spiritual teachings, that it's so much emphasizing that you have your own free will and you are the creator of your own reality, and you're the one who is responsible for your own reality. And the bonus part of it is that you are co-creator, means you're in partnership with God. And that sounds really good, to be in partnership with God. So yeah, so there's a huge movement that you have to set your intentions and keep working on it, keep thinking positively, and use a positive language, because if you say anything negative, you may be manifesting that negativity coming back to you. And if you don't think positive and you think negative, you're not going to get what you want. So you are completely in control of manifesting things. You just have to keep working on these skills of yourself. Means become a better manifester and become more in control of creating your own future. This is what is going on. But there's a but. It sounds really good. I love it. It's very motivating, because if I preach or talk about the opposite part of it, it may take a lot of people's motivations away. And maybe people have come to me and tell me, Zarathustra, since I have chosen to follow this path, or listen to you, or listen to teachers like you pointing out to non-duality or arrival in fifth dimension, and giving up your free will to God, and not denying this other way, is now I've lost my motivation for life, or what is my goal, and what's the point of living, and where am I going to go to, and what's going to happen to me? And that's a very valid question. And we can sit down and go back and forth with this for a long time. But before I go on, is I like to clear something. And I've said this before in the past, but every once in a while I need to say it. Is for me, I'm broadcasting and teaching. It's been like 12 or 13 years that I've been teaching and traveling around the world. And it's been, the academy has been happening since 2016. And I've been teaching since then online in this form. I have no intention and no desire to convert you or to persuade you to view things the way I do. So I'm not here to argue your way. I'm not here to convince you. I'm only sharing with you my own realization. I'm sharing with you what I've discovered for myself, and that's it. And what I discovered for myself led me to freedom. And I became free. What did I become free from? I became free from suffering. Does my mind suffer, or my body suffer, or my emotion suffers? Yes. But I'm free from my body and my mind and my emotions as well. I observe them, I feel them, I taste it, experience it, and then it's gone. But it doesn't stay. It comes and goes. So I've become free from that. So in case if anybody's interested that, okay, how do I come to that freedom? Then we get into this topic. And this topic is that acceptance of what is. And then this acceptance of what is you begin to understand in some form or the other. And a lot of times this understanding happens due to some kind of traumatic event. Means that existence forces you to become humble. Existence forces you to shift your mode out of this me, look at me, I'm so powerful, I am so mighty, and oh, look at my glory, and I made millions of dollars, and I'm running all these companies, and it's all because of me. Or I'm a top athlete and one of the best tennis players in the world, and I work 6, 8, 9 hours a day, and look at me. Or simply, I don't know, whatever. I'm just using examples of um, being accomplished. But or or look at me, I've done all these different kind of retreats and workshops, and I have all these medals, I got all these uh, accomplishments and stuff like that. But there's still suffering happening. There's still, the mind comes, and when things don't go your way or my way, then there's suffering follows and depression comes. In acceptance of what is the recognition of something way more intelligent, way more powerful, and way much bigger than you and I, and whatever that my individual free will or personality is capable of accomplishing. Is coming to this understanding that it's just stepping back, you're chilling out, you're pulling back. You're like here, hands on, wanting to be in control of everything all the time, controlling your kids, controlling your partner, being in charge all the time. You have to know everything. Every time you're making a transaction, your banking transaction or credit card transaction, you have to be really on top of, oh yeah, I got cheated for $1 here. Oh, they made a refund to me. I bought an airline ticket to go to blah, 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 and I canceled it. I paid $300, but they gave me $295 back. And I have to get that $5 back. And then I need to be in control of that. I can never be cheated. And wanting to be in charge, wanting to be in control all the time. There's this sense that if you're not in control of things all the time, things will fall apart. And naturally, that is a part of our training. This is how we were brought up. This is what it's been presented to us. And these are the examples we see in our lives. So naturally, we don't think of anything else. We think this is the way it is. And then if you are not, and you're not powerful, or you're not one of these characters who can control things all the time and accomplish things all the time, you start feeling inadequate, because there are people whose their inner will much stronger than you are, or whatever they do, it turns to gold, or they seem very successful and they accomplish things, and you compare yourself to them and you're not there. And then you suffer. You feel bad about yourself. What I'm referring to, if you want to check this out, is try it for yourself. Step back, pull back energetically, pull yourself back. And don't worry, your life is not going to fall apart. You're not going to lose your home. You're not going to lose your family. You're not going to lose your company. nothing weird or bad is going to happen to you. You are just stepping back, and instead of being so hands on that you need to be in control of everything all the time, you're just kind of pulling back. You're just kind of letting it a little bit go, and a little bit more go, and a little bit more go. And you're just kind of sitting there and kind of adopting this attitude, adjusting and adapting to this attitude of, let me see, let me just kind of check it out and see what happens if I'm not really hands-on all the time. And as this shift happens, and again, a lot of times for a lot of people on the planet, something really boom, hardcore has to happen to them to humble them. Something has to happen to them that they're completely out of control. Like, you know, your mommy, your dad, your daughter, your son got in a car accident, and they're in a critical situation in a hospital, and you're outside of the emergency room, you're pacing back and forth. There's nothing in the world you can do about it. There's nothing you can do. And all of a sudden, you turn inwards and you go towards God, and you pray, or you ask the higher power or the intelligence that created this world for help, because you're absolutely powerless. There's nothing you can do about it. And it forces you to ask God for help, because you're not in control now. There's nothing you can do. Your beloved son, daughter is about to die, and you're just sitting there praying. Or something happened, you got arrested, you're in a prison, or you've been abducted or something, and some other people have complete control of you, and they can do anything they want to do to you. They can beat you up, they can cut your face, they can rape you, they can do whatever, and you're forced in this place to just surrendering to the moment, because you're powerless. Anyway, I'm using some extreme examples, and these examples are only pointers. I'm pointing at. When you start to realize this, of this total hands-on, you know, it's like I need to be in control of everything, right? And you're pulling back, and you're kind of chilling. And then, and this is the magic of life, you know, this like you can't explain it. This is like you can't, this is not like engineering, you know. This is not like something 2 + 2 is 4, and it's black and it's white. This is mysticism. This is realizations. This is an elevation of your consciousness to a higher level. And it's an evolution. It's an evolution of human consciousness in a way of you are slowly letting go, because you're hanging on to the steering wheel of this car. You're driving this car, and you're in control of driving the car. And now you're just slowly, it's scary, but you're slowly letting go of the steering wheel. And it's very frightening, Because the mind comes and tells you, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? What do you mean you're not in control? What do you mean I'm not in control? Your mind is telling you. It's the thoughts in your head is telling you, what do you mean I'm not in control? But who is in control? Who is in control? Who is this me? Who is this voice you're hearing in your head that it's been torturing you all of your life, and you're trusting it? Based on what? Have you ever questioned it? Have you ever examined it? How can you trust a voice in your head which tortures you? Have you ever thought about that? Did you ever come to your, that there is like a battle inside? You're gonna you get in your car and you drive towards the beach, and you get in a very bad car accident, and then you tell yourself, God, I really didn't want to go to the beach. I should have not gone there, but I did, and this happened. Or you don't go to the beach and you stay home, and then all of your friends later on texting you and calling you, wow, it was so much fun. The weather was amazing. The water was flat, and there was a great like barbecue on the beach, and you missed it, and you didn't come to this fun event. Now you're beating yourself up that you didn't go. Should I stay or should I go? Dun, 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 dun. Should I stay or should I go? You remember that song? It was sometimes from the 80s or whatever. Should I stay or should I go? The reality of it, it doesn't matter whether you go or you don't. The truth, hi, welcome. The truth of it is, at every given moment of your life, at any given moment of your life, any decision you make is exactly what existence wants you to do. Any decision, good, bad, in the middle, any decision you make is exactly what existence wants you to make that decision. Anywhere you are, fun, not fun, it's so hot, you're being tortured, or it's so cold, you're freezing. You're hating where you are, you're hating your life, or you're loving it. Again, it doesn't matter. That's exactly where you're supposed to be. Different things happen. Like, I buy things online. You order something from Amazon, you order something from eBay, and they charge you, but the product doesn't come. It gets lost. Now I can sit down on the phone and haggle with them and go back and forth, and yeah, because I lost $20. But now I'm spending like 3 hours of my time trying to retrieve that $20. For me, it's like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to let that $20 go, because I don't want to stay home for 3 hours haggling with the eBay or Amazon or the credit card company for $20. So I accept it. It's gone, because I want to go and go for a swim or go for a nice walk or go to the beach, or I want to go do something outdoorsy that I'm moving my body. I don't want to stay home on the phone. Or something happens, there's a misunderstanding, and that happens a lot. For example, in what I'm doing with my work is, hey, you're setting up, let's say, I don't know, I'm setting up a retreat or I'm having a workshop. And of course, you're in your website, your workshop is about self acceptance and self love and third eye activation. And you promise this and you promise that. And then you go and you're doing the workshop and something happens. You can't do a part of it. Either you run out of time or whatever. Or you have rented a big hall, a big space, and you go there and you want to do your thing, but it just happened the day that you're doing your big event, there's a construction across the street that the city is decided to start digging into the asphalt to rebuild or put some new pipes, and everything is shaking and there's a lot of noise. All right, what do you want to do? Be angry, be screaming, cry, or you just have to accept what is, accepting what is. And a lot of times in life, you feel like you're cheated. Let's say, again, you bought an airline ticket and you want window, you paid for it, you're supposed to get a window seat, and you get there and it's chaotic and they're about to cancel the flight, and anyway they let you in, but you don't get the window seat. Now you have to sit in the middle of a couple. Yeah, you're not happy, but that's the way it is. And no matter how much you're yelling and screaming and kicking, this is it. So you can adapt this mentality, this way of being. I'm not saying being passive. I'm not saying letting people walk all over you, okay? But the realizing, recognition of the moments in life that, can I change something by demonstrating against it or expressing my concerns, or should I just surrender to it? And what happens is, as your consciousness expands, this is an expansion of consciousness. This is an opening of your mind. And we all have heard that. How many times you've heard from different philosophers or spiritual teachers or wise men saying, open your mind. Okay, Janet, Zarathustra, Susie, John, open your mind. Or when you were a kid, you were telling your parents, or you were expecting your dad to be more open-minded. Now your kids are looking at you and they want you to be more open-minded. What does this mean, being open-minded? What does it mean? How do I be open-minded? It means you're opening yourself to other possibilities, and you're accepting the reality of life that things are changing. Yeah, you used to live in this little town. I don't know. You lived in Prague, Czech Republic. Or I don't know, you lived in Stockholm and you lived in this area in Stockholm which was really beautiful, and there was meadows and everyone was really, it was quiet and very tranquilo, very easy. And then all of a sudden, Google comes and they buy a part of this area and they bring all their employees there. The next thing is all the prices skyrocket, and all of a sudden the charm is gone and everything has become very corporate looking like. And you're angry and you're resisting it and you're resentful. And when we're talking about acceptance of what is, all right, it's like, okay, I have to accept my parents. These are the way they are. I can't change my mom. I can't change my dad. My friends, my brother, my sister, they are who they are. You can't change people. You can't marry somebody hoping if I marry him, they're gonna change, or hoping if we're gonna have a kid together, they're gonna change to the way I want. It may happen, but a lot of times it won't. You're just gonna have to accept your life the way it is, instead of trying to fight it all the time. Yeah, can you make a change? Change it. Well, if it's not changing, instead of banging your head against the wall all the time because you don't like the system, or you don't like the weather, or you don't like the way your partner is or your life is, try this. Pull back. Pull back your energy rather than trying to change and forcing it. Pull back your energy and start to look at it. Open your mind, expand your consciousness, and start viewing it from a place of accepting it as it is. And then see what happens. Accepting life as it is, it doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're passive. Okay, it's different. Being passive, being weak, being submissive is different than acceptance of what is. And I'm going to explain this a little bit more. But one moment, I have a message here. Zarathustra, in your perspective, is the purpose of healing an attempt to change things, or allowing more acceptance, or something else? Okay, let me see. In your perspective, is the purpose of healing an attempt to change things, or allowing more acceptance? Okay. I'm going to get into answer that question too. When you begin to understand this, or at least give it a try by kind of letting go, pulling back, what happens, this is like an invisible thing happens. This is nothing that it's not orthodox. Okay? You're letting go, but you're present. You're completely aware, but you are letting go. What are you letting go? Is you're letting go of the preferences in your mind. Instead of fighting in your mind to prefer things to be in this way or that way, you're kind of letting go of that, and you're kind of accepting things the way they are. And then in this shift, what happens is, in a magical way, is like this invisible intelligence, which is here, all of a sudden space opens up. Space opens up. Things get expanded. And as the space opens up, all of a sudden the magic starts to work. You are surrendering to what is, and all of a sudden, magically, things start to go in your favor. Starts to happen for you. Completely opposite of trying to make things happen and banging against it and being contracted, to letting go, but not faking it, letting go and accepting whatever it is. Maybe she pays me or she doesn't pay me. Maybe I meet the one or maybe I don't meet the one. Maybe I'm going to have a happy life or maybe my life is always going to be miserable. You're kind of letting it go. You're kind of coming into this neutral place. And then all of a sudden, the magic of life starts to get involved. And expansion happens. And then, without even you knowing, suddenly you find yourself in a much better house. Suddenly, an asshole boss, your boss who's an asshole and is always rude to you, because all of us, they become nice to you. And you're kind of like, what happened? How did that happen? Or they get removed out of the way and a new person comes and they're very kind to you. Not because your power of manifestation or your free will or your will. It's despite of that. It's the opposite of that. You are not using power to make things happen. You're actually surrendering to life, accepting it. It's completely the opposite. And then suddenly you discover yourself, because now it's your way of being. It's not fake. It's not pretending. You're just accepting life the way it is. All of a sudden, everything's going your way now. Because you're kind of not preferring one thing over the other thing. You're not attached to the results. The biggest disappointment in our life and the suffering that we go through is we are deeply attached to the results. And I've said this in the past. I am not going to marry somebody, okay? I'm not going to marry this lady with the expectation that she's going to cheat on me with my best friend. So I'm going to marry her hoping in my head that one day she cheats on me. Nobody does that. I mean, you have to be very stupid to do that, or you have to be really an idiot. You're marrying somebody with the hope that your life is going to be better and it's going to be wonderful. You're not marrying somebody with this hope that it's going to be a disaster, do you? If you do, then you're sick. I am going to buy AT&T stocks, or I don't know, Ford Motor Company stocks, hoping that the prices go up and I make money. Or I'm going to invest in Ford Motor Company stocks, hoping that it would crash and I lose all my money. Which one? Going up or going down? Which one? Well, what would you do? Are you investing in real estate or stock market or Bitcoin with the hope of making money or with the hope of losing money? Could somebody answer me that, please? You're doing it with the hope of making money. But do you always make the money? Every time you marry somebody or you go in a partnership with them, is it always going well or is it a disaster? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But if you're attached in your mind to the results, you're really attached to it, that I am going to, whatever it is, whatever you're really investing in, whether it's emotional investment, physical investment, time investment, and you're really deeply attached that it must turn out to be this way. So you have a big attachment to the results. And when it doesn't happen that way, then you are going to really suffer. You're going to be very disappointed. But if you adopt this attitude that if things go my way, this is successful, I'm going to be really happy and I'm really going to be like, wow. But if things don't go this way and it goes wrong, I am still happy. I am still me. My life is not going to end. Because my happiness, my mental and emotional wellness is not depending on things outside of myself. I have discovered it within myself. So things don't have to always go my way for me to be happy. If they go my way, that's a bonus. It's great. But if they don't go my way, I'm still me. It doesn't take away from who I am. Who I am is here. Is this making sense to you guys? Is this like, do you have any questions or? All right. Miss Julie, are you around? I don't see you. I don't know if you're still around or not. I think you got bumped out. Okay, when Julie comes back, we can talk about. Anybody has any questions, comments? Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. Go ahead, Miss Hilda.
For 7 years ago, I was in ventilator for 4 weeks. And when you don't have the ability to breathe by yourself, we really got that in knowing that you have to just relax and just disappear into the silence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
was the 4 best weeks in my life actually, because I just had to just be in the silence because I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
So I really needed that punch in my face. You can't breathe by yourself.
No. That's yeah. I mean,
Stubborn.
yeah, and it's a blessing because it's a blessing in a way because your physical conditions and that incident puts you in a situation that you have to surrender. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah. So I think that we need that sometimes. And I needed it badly and hardcore because I was very stubborn.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is a blessing, really it is.
Hi, Annette. Nice seeing you. Long time no see. Hi. How are you? Are you in Warsaw, or where do you live? Sweden. Oh, okay. Where in Sweden? South of Sweden. Yeah. Malmö. How's Malmö? Malmö is good. Yeah, you're close to Copenhagen, so you can go back and forth. Yeah, you have a lot of ability, a lot of movements. Well, it's nice to have you here. Welcome back. Yeah. Well, I'm happy you joined us. So, Miss Julie, do you want to talk to me?
Hi, Zarathustra.
Hi, Julie. Nice seeing you.
See you.
So, uh, let me read this and see if I understand it correctly, right? And it says, in your perspective, is the purpose of healing, and healing, you're talking about like healing work or just life healing, whatever that is?
I guess both.
Right.
Yeah, and very general. And I know you do healing work as well. So
Uh-huh.
I mean, maybe you can't speak for everyone, but yeah, just even in your experience, you do your shamanic healing work, for example. So what are we doing there? Like, are we if somebody has this condition and they're in pain all the time, they come to you and they're like, can you do healing on this condition that I have? Is that trying to change, or is that taking them away from accepting their physical condition?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Actually, it's a good one. It's basically is a function of consciousness. It's a function of the what does appear in this life to be. Like, okay, I fall down and I break my wrist. So what do? I'm delivered to the emergency room, and and then they take an X-ray and they put a cast around it, and then I go see a specialist and see what happens, and then they tell me like you need to cast it for a month or two. Excuse me. So it's a function of life. And the same thing with somebody comes to me, let's say me as the healer, shaman, healer, or whatever, and they choose me, and I work on them, and I do whatever I can. So are they going to get healed or they won't get healed? I never know. The same thing. You fall down, you break your wrist, and you get casted or whatever. Is it going to be healed forever, or for the rest of your life you're going to have difficulties with it? We don't know. But we play our role. The specialist, the physician, is going to play his role, and me as someone who got hurt is going as a patient to him for treatment. Same thing when I'm doing healing work, somebody comes to me for treatment. Do I have any healing ability to heal someone? No. Who is healing people? Well, the body heals itself. And then if we want to just go deeper, it is that intelligence, we can call it God, the presence, the creator of this world, is the one that heals. There's only one healer on this planet. And that's the spirit. Nobody personally has a power to heal. And doctors, physicians, surgeons, they don't heal you. Or the medications you're taking, they don't heal you. It's your body who heals itself. You just have to create the environment for it. So that's the first part of this question you have. The second part of it is, can you accept it? Can I accept it? Or I want to fight it? Did I answer your question, or is there any kind of you? Or did I make you more confused, or does any of it make sense, or was I?
No, it fully makes sense.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you.
You know, I feel in comparison, of course, this is always in comparison to other people, because that's how you measure your own things. Okay? In comparison to some of my friends, I am very poor financially. In comparison to some other people who live in third world countries, or they live in very poor areas, I'm very rich. Okay, so everything is in comparison, because that's how you measure things. With whatever, today you're feeling good, your body feels good. Well, in comparison to what? Or today you're not feeling energetic. Well, in comparison to what? You know, everything is a comparison. So in comparison, I feel I have a very exciting life in comparison to other people. I think I'm very lucky. I feel like I haven't done anything to deserve it. Honestly, I'm being honest. I don't think I did anything to deserve the life I have, but it's been given to me. And I'm very grateful. I'm not complaining. And I'm humble about it. And when I compare myself to a lot of people around the world or people around me, to me, it feels like, wow, I have a very exciting life. But I live my life, so I'm in me, and there are a lot of dull moments. There's a lot of boring moments too. Or there are periods that it appears that nothing is happening in my life. It appears like everything got stagnant, and there's no fun. Or now, for somebody from the outside may say, well, Zarathustra, how could you even say that? Because it seems like you're always having a great time, and you're traveling, and you have friends, and you have a freedom to do whatever you want. But internally, there are moments, or there are periods of time that it looks very dull, it looks very boring, it doesn't feel like anything's going anywhere. And when I'm in that period in my life, or something happens, um, something happens I don't like, I'm in a situation I don't want to be in, okay? Like last summer, for example, when my mother had an accident, she broke her shoulder, she went to the rehab, and then they brought her home, and I was nursing her, and I lived with her for a month and a half, 2 months. I wasn't very happy about it, you know. I wanted to be in Tulum, or I wanted to be in Ibiza, and I wanted to be at the party with my friends, and I wanted to be at the beach, or I wanted to go to the festival and party. I didn't want to stay home with a 95-year-old woman, uh, nursing her when it's 35, 40 degrees outside every day. I'm just being honest. I mean, I'm honored that existence gave me that opportunity, and I looked at it. I had to accept it. There was like, yeah, apparently I had a choice. I could just say, fuck it, screw my mom, and I'm just going to leave and go to Ibiza to the party. Or I could just say, whatever, and I leave, or stay there in the heat with your ill mom, with your family being stressed, and just stay with it. Be present and do what you have to do. Take care of your family. And for those of you who have kids, or, I don't have children, so I don't know what it's like, and I never wanted to know what was it like, so I never went that route. But yeah, let's say you have kids, and you have to take care of them. You're invited to a great show. You bought these tickets. You're going to a great opera, or a whatever show it is, and then your kid gets sick and is throwing up, or has a pain in the belly or toothache, and now you have to cancel the show and stay home and take care of your kid. But you really don't want to do it, but you do it. Is it fun? No. Do you prefer to go to the show? Yes. But that's life. You just have to accept it and surrender to it. And if you accept it and you surrender to it, all of a sudden it becomes very easy. The situation is still the same situation. I'm still dealing with an elderly mother with a broken shoulder who's completely dependent on me, and she really needs my help and my brother's help and everybody else's. But my attitude is, am I going to sit here and keep cussing at the whole situation and having this internal struggle and suffer because I'm forced to be taking care of her? Or I can look at it that, okay, this is how it is, and now I've been called to serve. All right, Zarathustra, you said you're a healer, you want to go around the world. You told me, God is saying, you told me you want to serve. You want to serve me. Yeah, Zarathustra, you want to serve me? Okay, go ahead, serve. Serve. Yeah. It's summer, all of your friends are in the festival, and you stay there and serve, and you're not even getting paid for it. Didn't you say you want to serve? Okay, serve. Show me. So there's this thing that you learned is, or you're driving your car and your car breaks down in the middle of nowhere. It happened to me so many times. Or you're going to a great event and you're getting in the car doesn't start, and you can't, you're in the middle of nowhere, you don't have anybody driving you, you can't call Uber or a taxi, and you're stuck. It's like yesterday for me, the situation happened. What do I do? Am I going to sit down and keep banging in my head and breaking things and be angry from the Mexican municipality because the electricity was gone, or the water is not there, or why it rains? Or I just surrender to what is and I go, okay, what am I going to do now? Why don't I just take care of some of the stuff I need to take care of the home around my place that I don't do? Or how about if I just go organize my closet, listen to some music, or read something, or I don't know. Well, all right, I can't go to the party where all my friends are. I'm stuck here. But why don't I just do something, something joyful that I can, it's positive, and it gives, I accomplish something instead of complaining. Because this is what life has put in front of me right now. So that's the accepting of life. Acceptance of what is. And the more you adopt that attitude, the easier life becomes. Because you're removing the suffering element out of your life. That doesn't mean you still don't get up and shower and get ready and take the metro and go to work. No, you're still doing the same thing, but you're not suffering. You're not suffering. Externally, nothing changed, but internally, you're not suffering. And believe me, I have suffered from depression and ups and downs and addictions for years and years and years, and I don't like to suffer. I don't want to suffer. I don't like suffering. So how do I not suffer? Is by accepting life the way it is. Then you can't suffer. Because whatever happens, whatever life forces you to go, whichever direction, you're surrendered to it. So there's no resistance. You're not resisting life. There's no friction, because you're not trying to force your will on life. You're accepting it. Okay, we have a comment comes here. It says, is it about my daily frustration? Can you be a little bit more specific? I'm not 100% sure if I understand. Well, I guess I do understand. Yes, it is about the daily frustration. Yeah. Because you can turn the poison into medicine by a recognition. And this recognition is about, again, right. Okay. Let me just one moment to think and come up with some of the challenges I deal with in my life. Okay, things that There are sometimes, like, not sometimes, it happens for me that I have priority stuff that I need to do. And there's stuff that I don't like to do. So I keep postponing it. I mean, I'll do anything else, but I don't do what I'm supposed to do. And it's procrastinating, and it's in back of my mind, and I keep hearing the voice, and it's there, and it's dragging, and it's dragging, and it's dragging, you know? So in the past, I would start beating myself up because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. But then what happened is I kind of started to accept myself that, okay, you're a kind of a person, Zarathustra. I started accepting my personality. I started my character is I really do things really well when I'm under pressure. When there's pressure, I'm at my best performance. When I have a lot of time, I won't do it, or I do a half-assed job. So I came to accept myself that, cool, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I don't take care of what I'm supposed to be taking care of. Then we wait, and all of a sudden comes the break point. A mechanism kicks in, and the super Zarathustra comes out. And boom, 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 boom. In one day, takes care of 10 different things. So rather than beating myself up that why am I like this, I start accepting myself for the way I am, and then things get taken care of. Now, and I may not have answered your question. The way I look at it is I get challenged with different things, different people. And it doesn't matter, like, you're single, you're not single, you live in Tulum, or you live in Los Angeles, or you live in Tehran, Iran, or whatever is where you're living. You're married, you're not married. You have kids, you don't. You have 2 jobs or 3 jobs, or you don't. It doesn't matter. The way I see it. The way I see it is that I am always in face to face with my guru. I'm always face to face with my master. I am in a spiritual school. This life I'm living is about spirituality. It's about me elevating and expanding to the Buddha's elevation. Is to come to where the Christ consciousness or Buddha's consciousness or Ramana Maharshi's consciousness is. So my inner guru, my inner master is always going to challenge me. It's going to be this pull-push all the time. So every time I'm being challenged, I look at it that way. Like, okay, now God has thrown a challenge at me. It's not bad luck. It's not bad karma. It's not malice intention by existence. It's just for my own growth. This challenge is only going to help me grow. So I look at it that way. And when I look at it that way, then it's a different story because my mind is not complaining. I have bypassed my mind. I have made my mind to be my friend. Now my mind is helping, is not fighting me. Because now we're cooperating together to overcome the challenge rather than us fighting with each other. So there's no more voice. So I've turned the poison into the medicine. So I've changed an unfortunate situation into my favor. Daily frustrations are going to come and go. Some of us have a tougher time in life and a tougher task for whatever reason. Some of us are less fortunate in comparison to others. Some of us are more fortunate. Some of us may have an early part of our lives are tougher and then it gets easier. And sometimes, you have a very smooth ride and suddenly you're 50, 60 years old and everything starts to fall apart and you start losing everything. We don't know how things go, and it's all depending on your book of your destiny. Whatever is your story is already written. And how is this story going to end? Nobody knows. And I don't know. I mean, so far, I've been lucky and I got away with a lot of dangerous things. But that doesn't mean that this ride is going to last. And, one day maybe something happened and everything just go really downhill. I have no idea. But I don't sit down here and compare myself to other spiritual teachers. My mind sometimes does, but internally at the deep state, I don't sit down and here and complaining to myself, why don't I have more? Or why am I not there? Or why am I here? Or why my nephew is way ahead of me financially, or my other friend is doing so much better, or blah, blah, blah. I sit here with myself and I am where I am. I'm here. This is who I am. I have my good stuff, I have my bad stuff. I have my light and I have my darkness. I'm a collection of both. Some periods in my life, things are going my way. Some periods, things don't. This is like the way it is. And in order to make it much, much easier, you simply go beyond your mind. You're simply bypassing the mind very swiftly without any fighting. You simply turn your attention inwards, because the attention is on the outside. The attention is on the objects. The attention is on things going my way. Life does what I want. Other people do what I want. I get more money. I get a car. I get more, I get my partner. I get things. I want things. I want objects. But what you do is very swiftly, without struggle, you just like this, whoop, you just turn the attention inward, and instead of being involved with your thoughts or your emotions and trying to fix your mind and fix your emotions, you just switch it off. You just go around, just like that. Just like that. It's very, very, very simple once you learn how to do it. When it's very simple, you simply follow your thoughts. Right now, if you can't become quiet, just look, where do they come from? Follow the stream of it. It's like a thread. Okay, and these thoughts of coming, right? Okay, look, go back and look, where do they come from? Just go to the source of them. Follow them to the source. And then all of a sudden everything becomes quiet. And when everything becomes quiet, where is the frustration? The frustration only is a thought appearing in your mind based on things are not going your way. Well, go beyond your mind for a moment. Do it right now. And then just take a look for yourself. you very gently make a practice of, without really putting stress on yourself, that you simply learn to divert the attention inwards. We call it meditation or whatever you want to call it. You just go beyond the mind. The mind is where the noise is, and beyond the mind is where it's quiet. You just learn to go into the silence. That's your sanctuary. You keep going there. You keep going there. And it becomes, you start recognizing it, that place that you keep going to is really here all the time. And that's your nature. You start to see it. You recognize it. That the presence, silence, inner love, inner peace is really the very nature of who you are. The very nature of who you are is peacefulness, silence. And this other that you keep struggling with is really not who you are. Yeah. So, unless you have any other questions, I feel like we've done well. I thank you for joining me, welcoming you to the Academy. I will be touring. I will be going to Europe. My tour starts from Norway, so I'll be in Norway around April 18th or something like that, 17th, 18th. So I'm going to go see my dear sister, Ms. Hilde, and we're having 3 events in Norway. And from Norway, I have a 1-week healing retreat in countryside in Poland. So if you ever wanted to participate in my healing retreat program and you've been in Europe and it's been expensive for you to come to Sweden or anywhere else, well, this is it. So this is a 1 week. All of us are in this retreat center. It's called Here and Now. I think it's posted on my website today. If not, tomorrow it will be posted. And you can contact us or you can contact our organizer in Poland. It's very inexpensive and it's all inclusive. So if you want to come and spend a whole week together, it's going to be about, I'm going to be teaching the 5D quantum healing level 1 and 2. And this is a new version of it, which is we're going to be emphasizing on heart awakening and self-love and self-acceptance and third eye activation. And after that, I will be going to Frankfurt, Germany. And so this is what's happening. If you can join me at any of the events, I welcome you. Otherwise, we'll meet here. And also, I have room for after Germany to UK. Yeah, I love to. I love to come to England and do something. Inshallah, you know, a new door, a new country has opened up for me. Canada has opened up, so I'm planning on going to Toronto in middle of September. I'm going to be doing some events in Toronto, so that's a new one. But yeah, I mean, I'm open if you can organize an event for me anywhere in the world. I love traveling and I'm available. I love doing what I do. I love to be in this position that God uses me to transmit this silence to other people. So I'm open, but I'm not hoping. So I have room for one more life training program student. I have dropped my fee drastically down, so don't be shy. You can contact me and we can talk about it and see if you want to enroll or not. Sending you my love and thank you again for joining me. And this broadcast simultaneously is recorded on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, uh, and Instagram. And since you have joined into the Academy, we have your email and we're going to send you a copy of this broadcast. If you have any comments, you can email me. My email is info@zarathustra.tv, info@zarathustra.tv. My social media pages are Zarathustra 5D, and my website is zarathustra.tv. So if you want to just check it out to see where I'm going to be or interviews or whatever, it's in the section of event calendars. Be well and be easy on yourself. And no matter how strong your mind comes and beats you up, and all these feelings like you're not good enough or you're not doing well or something's wrong with you or something's wrong with your life, just ignore it. Don't pay attention to the voice in your head. That's not who you are. Who you are is beyond that. And just kind of be easy on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Just chill and just come back to this place. And every time you come back to this place, you literally will be confronted and you experience the power of God, the presence of God. When I say God, I'm not talking about this dude with white beard and a stick that's going to punish people. I'm talking about the presence. I'm talking about this intelligence, this vastness of love, which is unconditional and it's always here. And you have access to it because you're a part of it. Just calm down and just sit. And all of a sudden, it shows itself to you. And you will see your own beauty. And it's a beauty that nobody can take it away from you. It's a beauty that doesn't diminishes by aging, by disease. It's a beauty that is always here. And you are that.
Recording.